What's happening? Right. Look like that everything's sounding good. We back once again. It's been a minute. I've been on the grind, trying to make shit happen. But I wanted to get into this one. Last time we were talking about going into the wilderness, and I wanted to make sure that I dived right into that. I think this is one of the most essential and quintessential and the most important part of your journey in manhood is going into the wilderness, finding a way to get away from everyone, or at least everyone that you know, and that's your family. You know, growing up, like what I've been talking about throughout each episode, growing up without a father and it's just your mother, you're gonna have to find a way to get away from everybody. A lot of times, a good way of doing that is going to college or finding some sort of job that you can do that's away from home, meaning like you want to find a way to get out of the household with your mother, and you want to find a way to get your own household. And if that has to do with you getting some roommates, then you got to do what you got to do. But it's essential that you get away from everything that you know, because you're not going to truly be able to crack out of your shell and become the man that you need to become if you're stuck inside the shell and all you hear and all you know is what you hear and what you know, like everything that everybody tells you. Like your life ends up becoming, a replication of the people before you. And so the only way for you to truly grow into your manhood is to think for yourself and have thoughts of your own. And the best example that I have for this is Simba. If you ever watch The Lion King, Simba is, in the beginning he's listening and he's testing his boundaries, but like he listens to his father and he just does what he's always been told to do. He's got an uncle who kind of tests him a little bit on here and there type of things, but like his life was already set up for him. And his father dies, and then he goes, like he gets exiled in a way, and he goes into the wilderness, and now he no longer has this father where he has to live up to like the standards that the father has set for him. And now he's just free. And, mentally and figuratively, he's free from having to live up or be what everybody wants him to be. Now he can figure it out on his own. And, he ends up running into Timon and Pumbaa, and you kind of know how that story goes. But when you look at the story from a psychological standpoint and you sit back and you analyze it, you have to become Simba. You have to live as if your father is dead. So they say, there's a saying that you live as though your father is dead, meaning you start taking on your own ideologies and your own thought processes of who it is you are, who it is you're going to become, and who it is that you want to be. And it's hard to do that when you're in a social setting. And that's why it's good for young men to get away, because now they can start to become who it is that they really want to be. And so you have to live. I mean, even though you're growing up with just your mom, you got to live as though your father is dead. There's nobody's standards that you're here to be like, or you're here to replicate. You are here to be a one of one, and you're here to be yourself. And so the best way of doing that is to get away. And once you get away, find time to learn things that the opposite of what you've always known. Like one example from The Lion King, like Simba starts eating bugs and stuff. And so he kind of changes his diet a little bit. Just little things like that where it's like, I never thought about eating bugs. Why you guys eat bugs? And using that as an example, metaphorically speaking, of challenge the thoughts that you've always been given. Maybe it's the religion that you grew up in. Maybe it's the way you eat. Maybe it's the way you feel about politics. Whatever it is that you have always done or that you feel like you know, be open to challenging it to make sure that you truly believe in what it is you believe in, or were you just indoctrinated to have these thoughts? And that is part of your manhood, is challenging the thoughts that were there and creating your own, and releasing yourself from the indoctrination of your family, your social group, your community, and your state, and your country, and so on and so forth. Challenging that. And once you're able to do that, then it becomes easier for you to stand on what it is that you believe and what it is that you know. I mean, I think that you should always stay stupid and be willing to learn. But that comes from you being able to challenge everything that was given to you. And the only way you can challenge the status quo is you have to get away. And I think the best thing to do is to move away. But you got to go into the wilderness. You got to get away from mommy. You got to get away from auntie, cousins, everybody that you know and love. You have to spend a good majority. I mean, I think at the bare minimum, like 3 to 4 to 6 years away from everybody. And maybe you go and visit here and there. And then, and in those visitations, you'll start to see where it's like, oh, damn, I used to think that way. Or damn, I used to feel that same way. And now I can't say that I feel that same way. And your family will challenge you. And you have to be prepared for that challenge, because that challenge is to see, is he truly this, or has he become something else? Has he been indoctrinated by some other group? And so this is part of your growth into becoming the leader that you need to be and the man that you need to be. So the wilderness is the most important part. And what I mean by the wilderness is getting away from everybody and everything that you know, and be in a position to challenge everything that you thought life was, or everything that you thought you were supposed to be. And that is how you become. So when you go look at The Lion King, go watch The Lion King again and watch, like, look at the symbolisms of things and what it actually like means, not just the feelings and the emotions that it evokes, but look at Simba's father dying and then him just living in the clouds. Look at that as like God, and who you are. You're here on earth and you're in the wilderness trying to figure yourself out and figure out who you are. And so, your father's not there to hold your hand through life on how to be a man. And so now you are taking upon that challenge yourself. And a lot of times the people that are going to be there to help you mold yourself are the friends that you meet in the wilderness. So, and then you got to come back home after you build yourself up and start finding ways to change home. Kind of like, like in the movie he comes back to like restore Pride Rock, but like, on an even other scale, like Nipsey comes back and tries to make a school. And not saying that you got to move back to where you live, but you want to come back and give back the knowledge that you've learned. And you want to take your family tree to the next level. When you are the male in a single parent home, it's your job to take your family to the next level and make sure that the tree that you come from isn't the tree that you leave behind. And so maybe your family started there, but you developed yourself to make sure that this flourishes into a forest. So you have to take this very serious, and you have to take getting away from everybody very, very serious. So, and studying the opposites too. As growing up as a Christian, like I took time to learn about, like, it sounds crazy, but like Satanism, Buddhism. I learned about Muslims or Islam, like all these different variations of life, and it helped me to become the man that I am. So hopefully this means something to you. Hopefully you get some sort of insight out of this, but um, just wanted to make sure that I inspire you to get away from home. So not quite sure what I want to talk about on the next one. I think we might go into relationships. But I'll pick a topic and then we'll go into it before. And so, but right now I just wanted to talk about going into the wilderness. And so make sure that this is your priority. Until the next time, I'm gonna kick back, relax. I'll see you guys on the next one. Till then, stay suave and stay stupid.